Right, so this is more about events and drones, but we've got to cover something in the drone code before we go any further. So this is from the CA's website, the Drone and Model Aircraft Code, and it's on the section where you can fly. Now to get down to point 4. Now point 4 is do not fly closer to people than 50 metres. So they're talking about horizontal separation and 50 metres. And this includes people in buildings and transport, including cars, lorries, trains and boats. So if you're flying in the open category A3, you have to keep 50 metres from everything. And that includes people in buildings, cars, lorries, trains and boats. Now this is a little bit of a change. Now the old rule, as a model flyer, you could actually fly sort of overhead. It's the biggest change there is, or one of them. All of a sudden it's become dangerous, and sadly I do know of a couple of instances where model aircraft have caused serious injury. However, you are talking maybe two people in 80 odd years. It's still not good, but it has happened. Now, so do not fly closer to people than 50 metres is what it says. You must keep a minimum horizontal distance of 50 metres between your drone or model aircraft and people. This creates a no-fly zone around people that goes all the way up to the legal height limit. It can help you think of this as a fly zone as a cylinder. So there's a cylinder around people. If you think of it as a cylinder around your aircraft, it helps a little bit easier. So 50 metres, if you're in a cylinder, if your aircraft's in the middle of a cylinder, that cylinder will be 100 metres across. Your drone is in the middle, the 50 metre point, all the way around it. No one can get into that area. Now, you must not overfly people in this no-fly zone, even if you're flying higher than 50 metres. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So the rule on minimum distances is different for people involved in what you're doing. So you can fly as close as you want to people that are happy for you to be there, like family, friends, people involved in your filming. You can fly as close to them as they are comfy with. However, it's about the uninvolved. Now, they do talk about C0 and C1. So C0 is the mini, of course. So you can overfly, but you've got to remember you can never put people in danger. That's one of the important bits. However, if you've got an aircraft that's between 250 grams or 500 grams, it's in the C1 class, you can fly closer to people than 50 metres, but you still cannot intentionally overfly them. Now, getting to the always keeping a safe distance. Now this is really going to screw with your heads a bit, and I've only just spotted this. So sometimes you may want to go higher than 50 metres. So they've kind of introduced the 1-to-1 rule. Yes, the 1-to-1 rule rears its ugly head. So if you fly higher than 50 metres, you should keep the same distance horizontal from uninvolved people. So if you're flying at 80 metres high, you should be 80 metres horizontal from them. If you're at 60 metres, it's then 60 metres horizontal. This is a big change from the rules a year ago. And this is something that's probably going to maybe catch a few people out. The higher you go, the further the horizontal separation has to be. However, in personal experience, and I have had a Phantom 4 Pro fail on me back in 2015. I actually had one fall out the sky on me for no apparent reason. It just fell out the sky. And that was about, I can't remember if it's about 80 metres up. It only travels about 6 metres from where it failed, and you will find your aircraft, because drones don't fly very well. If your motor stops spinning, it's just going to come down. Why they've suddenly made this distance 80 metres for a drone, or the 1-to-1 rule, should I say, so 80 metres high, 80 metres away. Talk about a safety barrier. That safety barrier is probably 10 times larger than it actually needs to be. It's quite interesting. And I don't know when this change happened. I think when they took away the Drone Safe website, they've also updated the drone code. I'm intrigued because I don't remember this 1-to-1 rule being there, but it's back. Now, it says if you fly at high speeds, fly further away to give yourself more time to react. Drones don't fly that fast. It's when you're flying a jet turbine that does 200 miles an hour. Then your brain needs to think a bit. You're probably thinking about a lap and a half ahead of yourself, to be fair. So it's quite interesting. They talk about poor weather conditions, meaning that there could be great risk to people, so you fly further away from them. For example, if it's very windy, you should fly further away from people. No, if it's very windy, you shouldn't be flying at all, actually. That should be in the drone code. Now, we're getting to events. So this is point 5 where you can fly. So never fly over people who are crowded together. This is the important stuff. A crowd is any group of people who cannot move away quickly because of the number of people around them. You never do this, no matter the size of your drone or model aircraft you have. And they give examples. So shopping areas, sports events, religious gatherings, political gatherings, music festivals, concerts, marches, a crowded beach or park, parties, carnivals and fetes. So they've been ticking their boxes as many as they can. And remember, if we are 50 metres up, we have to have 50 metres horizontal separation from uninvolved people. They've already said that in point 4. This is point 5. However, if you want to go up to 100 metres to take photos of that event, you then have to fly back away from the event up to 100 metres away from it, from the edge where the crowd are, to be able to get the shot, because they did talk about the 1-to-1 rule in point 4. So for every metre up, basically, you've got to keep the same horizontal separation. And they talk about it beyond 50 metres, which is interesting. Everything below that, they don't actually mention. I'm going to think that's because typically they consider the aircraft to be in flight at 50 metres, maybe? I don't know. And anything below that, you're coming into land or you're taking off. Typically, I know people, you do fly lower than that. I do understand that. So yeah, I thought I'd just point this out to everyone. It's quite interesting. They've kind of changed things about a bit. I don't know when this change happened. I think a freedom of information may have to be put in. But anyway, I thought I'd let you all know. So if it's an event and you've got to keep that 50 metres horizontal separation because it's in point 4. I'll put the link in the description below so you can go there and look at it. It is in the points 3 to 9, so where you can fly if you need to double check anything. And thank you very much. If you've enjoyed the video,